And we're back. Welcome to
Yay!
District 44 Monday Night Live. I'm Jim Fuse from Rising Phoenix Toastmasters, joined by my partner in District 44 crime, Amanda May Gray. Amanda, how you
Hey,
doing?
hey, Jim, I'm well. How are you tonight?
And what club are you with?
Oh, a couple of them. I'm in Speakers Roundtable, North Gwinnett Advanced, and Toast of Cobb.
Wow,
Because why do one when you can do three?
that's right. That's
Right.
right.
You know.
Yes. So we were running a little late tonight because I was in a contest for Area 46, and I
And
was
did you
fortunate.
win?
I was fortunate enough to win. So the evaluation contest, I'm not one of
Woohoo!
these international speech people
That's
like
me.
probably Amanda is.
That's me.
So congratulations to everyone that's been competing. It would be nice to see more people compete. I don't know why people seem to be afraid of Zoom. It's okay. It doesn't bite. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I was fortunate enough today. I did a webinar for the district on relationship marketing. So we thought we would talk about that some tonight because it seems to be a struggle, I think, for some of the clubs in our district. And so, Amanda, where should we start?
Oh man, yeah, I agree that it's probably a bit of a struggle. I think maybe we start with defining what that even means, because quite frankly, you can say relationship marketing, and people could be like, "Sure, yeah, that sounds great. I'll get a relationship and I'll market to it." Is that not the technical term? Hey, Robert, how's it going? Nice to see you.
Yeah, Robert and Manuja, great to see you. But I think they've been here every week, so we're gonna give them. They're the beginning of our super fans. So
Yes,
we appreciate you guys coming
you
out
have to come
here.
up with something. Maybe
We
they can
will.
get their own pom pom of our awesomeness.
A pom pom of awesomeness.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
You didn't
So
know it
there's
had a name?
did not know it had a name.
I didn't come up with it. Cher Bonsermino is the originator. And
Ah,
then I copycatted with permission.
right.
With permission. Always get permission, folks.
Get permission. That's right.
That
That's
is the
right.
key. That is the key.
So some of the things I talked about today was there's a friend of mine named Jessica Phillips who runs a marketing agency in Lima, Ohio, even though it's spelled Lima, but it's Lima.
Oh,
Uh,
oh,
and she does the care wheel. It's basically it's all about building relationships, right? And we think of things like super fans, and we have to consider that, right? It's not so much about having how many followers you can get, but actually engaging with people, and how can we build those relationships, right? Because really it's about building know, like, and trust. Like, we've gotten to know each other.
mhm.
I think we like each other as friends, and I think I trust that you're pretty good at what you do as a speaker, and so I think that's what we as clubs need to figure out is how do we get that message out
Right.
to help our clubs, and this applies to business as well, right? I think that's one of the challenges. I mean, what do you find, Amanda, to be, I guess, a challenge in that whole relationship building for the clubs in general?
Well, especially the clubs. I like to think of it like word of mouth advertising
Mhm.
is very similar. It's just building up that rapport with somebody. It's just like in sales when you have to, make essentially all sales is people buy from people they like. And I know some people might argue that one, but it's true. And people buy into a club if they enjoy the experience, if they enjoy the other people. They're not going to say yes to signing up to your club if they don't feel welcome. If when you talk to them, you talk over their head because you're saying DTM, D44, people are going to be like, I don't have a clue what you're talking about right now. It's getting to know people and understand that I just talked about this, Jim, meeting them where they are, whether that's on different platforms or if that's, just at their base. And I think one thing that we as Toastmasters tend to forget when we are talking to new people is that they don't necessarily know our vernacular, our acronyms. Um, we assume we say a speech contest and people are like, what does that even mean? Is that like speech and debate? Kind of, but not really. you know they don't understand the different facets, so we have to make sure that we are getting that one-on-one time with people, but also talking to them at their level, which you don't want to talk down to them either. So it can be very difficult to understand where that fine line rests as well.
Absolutely. So I think I can actually pull this up, right? I'm gonna show you some
Is this?
technology.
Oh la la.
So this is the care wheel. As I said, Jessica Phillips, Now Marketing Group, is the one that brought this to my attention. And so it's a circle for a reason because it's continuous, right? It's not a funnel, right? I mean, some people I know
Mm,
are captured with the sales funnel, but right, the first thing we do, right, the beginning of the relationship, so to speak, is we capture people's attention. We capture people's attention by the things we put out there, on our socials, and then as they start to understand the message, right? Toastmasters is a brand, right? So people don't always understand what that brand is about. So how can we educate them? And then as our clubs, get to meet more, we start to build relationships, and then we want to give people exceptional experiences. I think, and this is something I talked about earlier today. I think the district did an amazing job with TLI by taking it a step further beyond just having the regular Zoom, right? By allowing people to network and communicate that were, it was actually cross pollination, right? It wasn't just the VP PRs. They got to meet some of the people that were from membership and things of that nature. And so when you apply this to your club and think about how can we build this, and sometimes people are going to come in at different levels or different points in this, right? Not everyone is going to start out in a sense. The capture attention is really like if you want to call it the no stage, right?
right.
When we get into the articulate and relationship, that's the like, and the experience is the trust. That's where they become our advocates. We should all be advocates for Toastmasters, and we should be out there, you know, recruiting people of all ages, all walks of life, to be a part of our organization. And I think we talked a little bit about this last week. Is you know uh, people are waiting for us to go back to in-person meetings. But I actually, and we've talked about this, I actually enjoy having the ability to have people come visit our club that are in a different country or a
Absolutely.
different state. And I think that's something that we need to really think about. Robert, he's always got something funny to say. The guests are the flowers, your members are the bees. That's a good one.
Is that what the birds and the bees mean, Robert?
No,
Oh.
no, this is flowers and bees. This
Oh,
is
oh, my bad, my bad.
but
Whoops.
that's actually I like that, Robert. That's actually a good way to put it. I mean, so I think that's one of the things that how are we right? It's that cross pollination. Oh, right.
Exactly. And
Somebody said
going
that.
to those people, right? So instead of assuming those flowers are just gonna come and see us once and then come back every single time, like, we have to reach back out to them. And that goes with our, members that maybe haven't been coming on as much now that we are virtual. We have to take that time and reach out to them
Right.
one-on-one and check in with them. I know that's been something that we've been working on at my home club of Tosta Cobb, is creating that one-on-one relationship with the people that aren't as frequent of members, that were active when we were in person or came to a couple of virtual meetings but aren't coming consistently. The key is going to them and making sure they still feel valuable. And yes,
Right.
pollinating.
Yeah, look at that, Chris. Lots of
Okay.
pollen on the show tonight. Thanks, Chris. And Chris, I'm going to get you to come to a meeting. He hasn't come yet, but we're going to get
It
him
blows my
in
mind.
there. We're going to work on some of those filler words that Chris likes to use, but I won't say it on national television, right? Because we have a national show.
Worldwide television, I think you just got done saying, actually.
But yeah, I think it's so important. Like you said, what are some ways that you found are effective in reaching out to people?
It's the straight up text message, phone call. I think email, it's too easy to skip. It's too easy to see and then pass by. I know I do it. I literally sent a couple emails today that I was like, oh my gosh, I just saw this. And it was from last week because we get so many emails that we just get like bombarded all day long. And so it's very easy to see something and have great intentions to get back to it, but then not do it. So, how can we adapt? We call these people, we've got their numbers, we can text them, we can reach out to them on Facebook. We can find them on LinkedIn and check in on them, which I'm not great at. I do have things. That people I need to call back to. Yes, Kari, phone calls are awesome. I think sometimes we miss that, right? We miss that one-on-one connection, that actual feeling like somebody cares about us. It's really easy to just see the email or see the post on Facebook and say, yeah, okay, and keep scrolling. It's very hard to dodge a phone call 10 times.
But I'm going to give you guys a challenge. I'm going to go a step further. All right. I'd like to see you send a video message to
Ooh.
some of your fellow Toastmasters. You can do this
Ooh.
through LinkedIn. You can even do it through Facebook. You could even technically probably text them a video as long as it's not too big.
You could.
But and here's a test. Next time you're going to wish happy birthday to somebody, see how long it takes to record saying happy birthday on a video and sending it as opposed to typing it. It's the same amount of time.
Mind blown. Kari, I know your mind was just blown right now too. Like, what? It's
See,
brilliant,
I got you.
right?
I
One of
got you
my
guys there.
yeah,
But
one of my not members, one of the groups that I'm in that's not, I mean, it's speaking, but it's not Toastmasters. Every week we get an email from the head honcho telling us what's new and what's coming up. And I open those emails and I watch that video.
mhm, right?
So
There's
how can
there's
we
a
do
little bit more of that connection because sometimes people it's not intentional, right? But when you make a phone call, maybe they're not at a place in the day where they can take that call. But if you take the time to do that video, right, and make it personalized. I mean, I know there's people that'll like just create like almost like a stock video that they send out to everybody. If you take the time, right, add their name, say something that's unique to them, and send them that message. And I think they will appreciate that even more if you do that. The other thing that's actually become a bigger thing too is even uh, I think almost all the platforms have it now. You can even do voice messages.
You can, yeah.
Um,
I mean, you could do that on your iPhone. And I'm always like, oh, a voice message. Oh, hey. Huh.
right,
And that's, easier than taking a phone call because maybe I'm in the middle of something or maybe I'm multitasking and totally paying attention to my meeting. No.
right, right. Well, I mean, I tell people all the time if you're not in my uh, contacts list and you call me, I'm not going to answer it.
I
And
won't
if you don't
answer.
leave a voicemail, I'm not going to call back. Now, maybe that's wrong, but
Oh,
I
no.
have a schedule that I have to stick to. And even sometimes, right, what you worry about is, well, this person calls me and I've got something coming up.
How long is this going to
How
take?
long is this going to take? And so I think that's where sometimes, um, maybe that's just how I roll, so to speak.
I think that's getting more and more popular.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause
I
I feel sorry, and if our realtor friends are still watching, I know how difficult that can be for you to ignore the phone call because you think it might be the next house you're gonna sell, but,
professionals are like,
that's one of those
I'm
things
out.
that you gotta be careful about. Control your time, right? But, with the going back to relationship marketing and social media, one of the things is it's not so much about broadcasting your message, but sometimes just engaging with people, right? Share their content. Don't feel like you've always
Right.
gotta,
That's a
quote,
good point.
unquote, "be the smartest person in the room,"
Right.
because that's where we can empower people by sharing other people's message.
And commenting and liking. I
Exactly.
mean, how many times do we scroll by something? I do that. I catch myself doing this now and I stop and I like say, no, I liked it. Click like. I'm constantly like seeing something and then I'm like, oh, that was cute. That was nice or whatever, but I don't actually interact with it. So yeah, if you really love it, share it. If you just have a thought or just want to tell them, love this, type that in there. We're live stream people now. We're always like, please comment, please say hi, please somebody let us know we're alive.
It's like, are we alive? And then so we can see people are watching, but,
Yeah.
at least we have a few commenting. So thank you, Chris and Robert and Manuja for joining us tonight. And we know Kari was out there, earlier as well. But, yeah, I mean, I think I talked about it a little bit last week, right? It's still can't stress it enough. If your club, is struggling, think of how can you use social to become more of an engagement platform. If you've got someone that runs your club's Facebook page, as an example, if you have a Facebook page, comment as the page on people's things. Share things from your club members to the network of people that are following your page. I think
Share the district things. There's plenty
exactly.
of district things. We had those motivational Monday videos that, yes, I was a part of. But, I was like, I wish more people would share these because it's content out there that is for the whole district that you can totally utilize. You don't have to come up with everything on your own either, is a big takeaway there. You
Right.
can reinvent the wheel we're going back to this, as long as you credit the person.
Right, right. Yeah, just like I credited Jessica earlier,
Yep.
another thing that she
Girl.
brings up is 10 of like 15 posts that they'll do will be literally sharing other people's content first. So, as an example, there's a lot of great speakers, a lot of great Toastmasters out there creating great content. Share their stuff and tag them, right? Let them know that you're sharing it. They're going to appreciate that,
Oh, yeah,
and you're
absolutely.
going to add a lot of value in doing that. So, because I think sometimes the struggle is, oh my gosh, what are you going to come up with? We don't know what to do. And I think you bring up a great point about the district, right? The district puts out content. Why not share that? Invite people, tag people that aren't in Toastmasters. Maybe they
Share
would
this.
find interest.
You could share this stream. I'm just saying, just
That's
throwing it
right.
out.
That's
Yeah.
right. Share it out. Tell people, look at these two crazy people talking on Monday night because there's no football. That's why it
There's
will
no football.
change before football season.
When it's football season, we will recruit other hosts or do it a different day. Just saying, just
That's right.
putting that,
That's right.
make that
Yeah.
known in advance.
We're letting
But
we're
yeah,
letting you know now. Right.
I think we are so hung up on like, oh, I have to create this or I have to create that. Trust me, when I was making things, it was like so amazing when people would share. I'm like, oh my God, you really liked it? You liked it like that much that you actually wanted to share it, not just click acknowledgement. Like there is stuff out there for us. And it takes, how long do you think it takes that when you see a good post that relates to something that you're doing, your audience likes, uh, could relate to what's going on, how long does it take to share that?
Right. Doesn't take long at all.
No, it takes a whole, I promise you this, it takes a whole heck of a lot less time than actually creating whatever that content was.
But here's something too that I would recommend. When you do share something, tell people why you're sharing it.
Hmm.
Give your, whatever you want to call it, your 10 cents, your 2 cents, however many cents you feel like spending that day in sharing why you feel that other people should look at it. Because I think that's what this goes back to the piece on engagement. Like, as an example, all these folks that are commenting right here, they're giving us really good comments, right? They're letting people know what they're seeing in this conversation going on. It's fine for people to like a post, but take that extra step of giving context in your comments. Like, don't just say, oh, well, like sometimes, like, good point. Why is it a good point? What resonated with you in the comments? And that will also create more engagement because now maybe the author will see your comment and they'll come back, and now you get more people will actually see the post. That's kind of how the algorithm works, in that the sense that if it sees like, oh, people like this post and there's comments going on, then more people will see it without having to spend all your Facebook ad dollars.
Well, and the other point behind that is like, since we don't have to create it all, why not create yourself like a little band of thieves, so to speak, and team up with other people, especially maybe other clubs, right? That they're gonna make one thing a week, you're gonna make one thing a week, and you're both gonna share it, and then you both get two things, right? Or obviously you do more than that. Probably should do more than that. right? But like maybe find 5 other clubs in various parts of the district. They don't even need to be in all your same area. So you're getting somebody in the, I don't know, let's say the Chattanooga area, maybe here in Ackworth, over in Sandy Springs, up in Gwinnett. And if you all team up, you're not going to hit the same people with your shares, but you'll have a band of content that you're all creating that you can all cross share that will make everybody's life that much easier. That was just a thing that popped in my head. I don't know if I
No,
came up with that.
I think that's a great idea. Absolutely.
I don't know where that came from.
Absolutely great idea. I think that, because when you think about Toastmasters as well, right? And just in business in general, people want to do business with people, right? It's that human to human connection. And Toastmasters definitely gives you that ability. I mean, we're in, I guess we'll say we're in contest season. So it's fascinating to get to listen to all of these different speakers and their different messages. Robert did a speech today. He was the test speaker about who are you, but it was very thought provoking and it made you think. And then David Kendrick was talking about, how we as speakers are influencers, whether we realize it or not. Right? You don't have to have thousands and thousands of followers to be an influencer. You're an influence in your own backyard, and so uh, you know, I love how we see these diverse messages from, looking at these different clubs, and everyone has, kind of, and Robert talked about, right? We all look to find our own voice. And,
Yeah.
that voice, that message is going to potentially, change someone's life when they need it. So I think that's sometimes one of the things we forget as Toastmasters, because we sometimes maybe get too wrapped up in, reaching certain goals, but think about what you're doing to help other people, just get better, right? Because, you know, hashtag where leaders are made, right? Toastmasters.
True story. It's interesting you say help other people. One thing one of my mentors talks about um, is the idea of helping coach and give feedback, give that evaluation. If you want to get better at speaking, evaluate other speakers. You will grow faster doing that and paying attention and listening and helping other people out. And that goes, outside of just speaking. If you can teach other people what you're doing, then you're going to internalize and learn it more. So maybe there's something that you've learned from being in this virtual world that you're like, oh, man, not everybody's figured this out yet, or this is really cool. Share it. Whether that's making a small post because it's just something simple and you're like, oh, hey guys, XYZ. Or maybe it's like, hey, Amanda and Jim, do you want to guest? And we're like, absolutely, we do. Anything like that. I'm just going to keep throwing in a little pitch every
That's
now
right.
and
That's right. We're looking for guests, right? Now,
Always
actually,
selling.
I have to give David Dorer credit. He would like to be on the show,
Oh, he should be on the show.
so we just need to schedule him. Maybe
We do.
we'll have him next week. But I knew today was going to be tough because of the contest
Yep.
to have everything lined up right. But yeah, and we have a couple potential what we call it, hybrid clubs. We're
Yes.
waiting to hear from
Yep.
them as well.
Yep, we do. I did 2 meetings last week. That does not make me an expert yet, but they are starting to happen, which means we can start getting some people to potentially talk about it. So if they're happening, maybe even within the next month or so, we can get some experience under people's belts and then we can start picking the brains. So also, side note, if anybody is doing hybrid meetings, we want to hear from you.
Yes, I actually think Mike Cena from Cherokee. I think they're getting ready to do hybrid. I
Cool.
think they've got a venue, and let us know in the comments what's stopping your club from having a hybrid meeting, or are you thinking it's got to be all, either all virtual or all in person? And we'd be curious to know why you feel that way.
I will tell you this, from the 2 meetings that I went to, it is not as scary or as complicated as you think. Because I was like, oh my gosh, we got to have this and we got to have that and we need this and that. You can make it as complicated as you want. Don't get me wrong. Sure, you could do a whole audio video setup, but you can get away with like 1 or 2 cameras in the room aka a phone and a computer, and you make it work. One thing I will say though, I noticed it is useful to have the timer be virtual.
Ah,
If you think about it, if you can have, as long as you got like really clear cards, but it's just easier to see that vivid green all of a sudden appear on somebody's screen. Maybe that's just me. Could be. But that's what I noticed right away off the bat.
oh,
That was
here I've got a good question from Chris.
okay. Okay.
And how long have you been in Toastmasters, and what has been your biggest benefit?
Am I going first?
You're going first.
Okay,
Ladies
so
first.
oh, is that what it is? I have been in Toastmasters since September of 2019, so a whole whopping year and a half. That's it. My biggest benefit from Toastmasters, and I have to choose one, Chris. That doesn't seem fair at all.
Well, you said your biggest.
I know the biggest it would be.
Getting to be on this live show.
I mean, the networking and opportunities, because I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. Yes, I have become a much better speaker. Yes, I have become a better leader, and I think those two things are super valuable. But what I think people don't realize and might be surprising is the amount of networking that is there and how that will lead to opportunity. So I'm a person that this last year who has said yes to basically everything. If you want me to come do a talent show or host a storytelling event or come speak and teach you pathways, I was like, sure, yes, 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 yes. Make videos on how to be on video. I said yes to a lot of things. And the more I said yes to opportunities, the more opportunities have come, which has led me to being able to do a live show. Now, a year ago, I did not have a blue wall. I did have this microphone, didn't have a webcam, didn't have lights, didn't have the thought that I could have my own show live like this, right? And not to say that this is my own show. I have one, but it's not this one. It's not the point. But the point is, all of these different opportunities came through Toastmasters, came through meeting people like yourself, Jim, who was like, well, why don't you just do this, Amanda? And I was like, I don't know, Jim. I just haven't done it yet. You're like, well, just do it. And I was like, okay.
Just get started, right? Just get started.
All right. Touche, Jim. Touche. But that I think would be the biggest benefit is just finding different opportunities and networking with people that you would not have otherwise connected with and made friends with.
No, that's a great point. Yeah, I think for me, that's definitely been a benefit. And I've been a member for actually February was 2 years. I joined in February of 19,
You're
right
older
after
than
I
I am
moved
in the
to
Toastmaster
Atlanta.
world.
Yeah. But what I thought for me was by getting evaluated as a speaker, people catching on things that I wasn't seeing. And I think
Mhm.
that has made me a better speaker as a live streamer because I think about the fact that it's okay to pause and then to say something and then to say something else and not have to use ums and ahs. And I'm going to just say to all you live streamers that might be watching us, because I know this is the number one ranked show on D44. Um, you could learn a lot from being a Toastmaster.
This is true. This is true. That is like my new mission. My first mission was like get us more into the 2021 now, I guess. My second mission is all you content creators, live streamers, YouTubers, I don't care, TikTok, anything that you're on video and talking, you should be in Toastmasters. And we should, I think, we should maybe have maybe we should create a club like that. I don't know. I don't know. There could be one out there. There's a podcasting club out of Dubai that Anna Vasudeva and I visited one time, which was pretty
That
cool.
sounds interesting.
Yeah, I went to Dubai.
And speaking of podcasting, a major announcement yesterday in the world of streaming, StreamYard, which we're using to produce this show,
This right here.
later this week, if you have the pro plan or the premium plan, I can't remember which one it is, individual audio tracks.
Yes.
So
excited for that. I'm so excited for that.
next week's show, we could actually download all the different audio tracks and turn it into a podcast. And my friend Chris Stone, who is a master at podcast creation and editing,
Oh, that's
probably
good.
would say that's one of the best things ever.
I'm
Because you
super
can
excited.
also have the video.
Yes, because you should also have the video, first of all. Second of all, I am low on wanting to edit things after I do them, so that's like the best news ever for me.
Right. And as you can see, Robert definitely has gotten a lot of self-confidence by being in Toastmasters, as he owns every rooms he enters, even if he never says a word. Yes, Chris, always have a video. So true, right? I don't understand why people want to play audiograms on YouTube. I'm not going to watch
No,
your
I
audio.
think he means for podcasts. Why podcasters don't
Yeah,
record
but they'll
video
but
at
they'll
the same
take their
time too.
audio and they'll just put a picture and they'll play it on YouTube
Oh, what?
instead of having a video to go along with
That
it.
sounds kind of boring. I mean, do
Yeah.
I listen to YouTube in the car? Sometimes. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Not intentionally.
Well, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, you are driving, so
I
that's
am
good
driving.
that you're not watching
I
it.
listen
That's
to podcasts, or if there's something that I've been watching that I'll put on there.
right.
I don't know who District 44 is, but I think this comment is fabulous.
Yes,
You see
that
it?
was
Did you
I
see it?
did, I did. I shared it.
Oh,
It
you
was
did?
cool.
Oh, I missed
Yeah,
it. I was busy
I
making
like
faces
that.
probably.
Yeah. But
See?
that's just in Toastmaster years, not in real life.
It's detailed. It's all in the
All in
details,
the
Rick. All
details.
in the
That's right.
details.
That's right.
But I think part of our message tonight is like video's not going anywhere. You know, this virtual platform isn't going to go anywhere, but utilize it to your benefit. How can you look outside of the box and say, okay, they're not reading our emails. Okay, fine. They're not, answering text messages. They're not looking at their Facebook Messenger. But maybe if you send them a little video that says, "Hey Jim, how you doing? We miss you at Toasted Cobb. Love to see you come back. Bye." Bing. They might respond to that.
Right. Right. Well, and I think the other thing too is just the fact that as much as we want to be talking in person in front of a group of people, if you're able to overcome, if you have a fear of video or still trying to figure it out, well, now, and Amanda, I don't know, you're on like what, day 50 something of a 77-day video challenge.
66.
Oh,
I'm
you
on
made it up to
I just did
66?
66
Wow.
today. I think I did 60. I have like 11 more days
Right. And I think that's awesome. That's how I started.
of a 77-day challenge. We should close
But
that
I
list.
just did 30 days. It wasn't 77. That's a long time.
It is. It is. I
But
didn't 77.
that's pretty amazing. But the fact that you did it, right? You probably feel a lot more comfortable now, even though you had some experience even before doing this, because it is, right? It's that challenge. So, challenge to all of you watching live or on replay is that we want you to actually do some videos, right? Go ahead, get out there. It doesn't have to be live. If you're afraid of live, record it, right?
Fun
Sometimes record yourself. If you don't like it, delete it. Record, delete, and eventually you'll get comfortable with it. Let's
with the
see.
challenge. I'm guessing that's probably AJ.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
funny.
hunch. AJ calling us out there.
Oh, so
Hi, AJ.
that's a good question. What have you learned so far with this challenge that you've taken?
Well, I think I should preface this with I'm doing a 77-day live video challenge for those of you that aren't aware. Darren LaCroix, I'm part of his mentor group, and he put us up to this challenge. And I was like, great, thanks, Darren. Didn't have, you know. And so every single day I go live on Facebook to share some lesson of the day or thought. Okay, that's the preface. That's what I've been up to. I'm on day 66. Most every day it's productive. Yesterday was mostly just my dog being ridiculous and interrupting the whole time. So I made the show about him. Whatever, people like him. It works. What have I learned? Man, it's not that hard. It is not you. And we all have more lessons and more stories than we realize. So I was like 77 lessons. Now let's put this in perspective. My birthday is this week. I will be 33 years old. I did not think I necessarily had 77 life lessons. Granted, I've had a crazy life. It's been all over the place. I've lived in 4 states, yada, yada, yada. There is more inside you than you realize. And sometimes the smallest things that you don't think much of or are just things that you do or say all of the time actually make some of the biggest impacts. And I have one saying that I've said before this actually was like, who you inspire is beyond what you know. because it's true, especially in this digital world. So even if I can just inspire somebody to take a walk every day, or to only buy things that they actually love, or to get a mentor, whether that's somebody they can actually talk with on a regular basis, or maybe a couple of them, somebody that doesn't even know they're a mentor, down to something smaller, or that I'm just encouraging other women to be confident and beautiful the way they want to be and not to live up to society standards or think they have to. Putting all of that out there has made me more confident in doing this, but it's also made me more confident as a speaker in general. When I started it, I was like, man, I would love to be a motivational speaker. And my mentor was like, you already are. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And now I'm starting to feel like, okay, I can do this. It's not that crazy. It's not this person on a pedestal. Jim and I are not on some crazy pedestal. We're not better than anybody else watching this. You can do this if you choose to. And we've learned, we've adapted. If you went back to my first YouTube videos, it looks completely different. Completely different. And I don't think I'll ever take them down unless I did some copyright infringement somewhere, which is possible. I don't know. If I did, then we'll cut it out. But you can do this. It's really not that hard. You just have to start. And the first time you do anything, always the hardest. The first time I went to a hybrid meeting, I was freaking out.
Think about it. First time you rode a bike, right?
Drove a car.
First time you drove a car. Yeah.
Walked. Started talking. I mean, you name it. When we were kids, we just kept going, right? We didn't stop. So you just got to try it and put yourself up to a challenge. Maybe get a group of people that you can strong arm into doing it for 30 days with you or whatever. You don't have to do 77.
Manuja just said you just came up with your day 67 speech. So you can go back and clip this out. So
you know what the problem is I feel like for these contests, I won't be able to talk about any of the things because I don't know the rules on this. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to say something good one of these days and then be like, I want to use that in a contest speech. And then they'll be like, nope.
Oh, that's too funny.
I don't know.
But the other thing is to your point, Amanda, we're all at different parts of our journey, right? There's people that have been speaking longer than us, less than us, that are going to be better speakers than us. And that's okay. Everybody, needs to be comfortable in their own shoes and not compare themselves to other people. Compare yourself to the person in the mirror. And I always like to say, just try to get better 1% every time you go out. And I know a couple of people have been saying this here, been hearing this a lot. If you're given the opportunity to speak, do it.
Oh, I say that all the time. That's another thing Darren says. If you get an opportunity, if somebody gives you the opportunity to take the stage time, you better take that stage time. Absolutely. You better go out there. You better try it. And you know what? I would bet when we get back in person that I am going to be super nervous to give my first speech in person.
Right, because people will be looking at you.
But be like, you could see me. I'm just gonna be like, I could touch you if I really I'm gonna be super nervous. I'm very comfortable on camera now, but in person, I'm just gonna be like fiddling and umming and awing and have all these nerves. I will not have good pauses. The dog won't interrupt. It'll be great. But I would bet that yes, once a month at least give a speech once a month. Find a way to speak in some capacity, whether that's Toastmaster of the day, going on a live stream, any of that. Get in front of the camera, in front of an audience, whatever you need to do. If you're really serious about getting better, do it once a week. I was challenging myself to do 100 in a year. I don't remember. It was last summer. Well, let me tell you what, we're hitting that 100 with this 77-day challenge.
Wow.
Right? But that was my game plan. And if I didn't set that intention that I wanted to get proficient at it, I wouldn't have gotten proficient at it. I wouldn't be comfortable at it.
Right.
So you gotta do it as often as you can feasibly do it. But create your own stage. Okay, I'm done. I could go off on a tangent on that.
Awesome. No, that was great. I'm with Manuja. That's your speech for tomorrow. We'll let you come back and redo it. So that was a great question, though, Chris. Definitely. What do we get out of this stuff? I mean,
right.
because Chris is not a Toastmaster yet, right? You can see I'm putting that peer pressure on him, but he's definitely seen what we've got going on in District 44, the best district in the country,
We
maybe
have
beyond.
contests. So if you are competitive, that should be reason enough. That was probably the reason I joined. By probably, I mean I think it was.
Right, right. Yes, thank you, Robert, for giving Chris Gloss the info. I know it's like that's one of those things about going in the group is that people have to get. He's like yet.
Yeah.
I know he speaks. He just he's just he's a busy man though. I'll give him that. He's got two teenagers that make him very busy. So, but
Teenagers can keep you on your toes.
yeah.
That is
Well,
true.
so stand by for Monday next week. We're not sure who's going to be on yet, but we're going to have a guest, right? Fourth time's a charm. We want to thank.
We're gonna need one because I don't know if I'm gonna be able.
Oh,
I will.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. You may be somewhere, or you will be somewhere.
I will be somewhere. The question is, will I be able to be on camera? And I will guarantee you there will be no blue wall.
Well, as long as you've got your phone and internet, you can actually join on StreamYard through your phone.
That'll be great. It'll be great. My parents will be like, "What are you doing?"
I'm talking to my phone. Right there.
Did you figured out I talk to myself by now? I don't.
Yeah. But thanks again, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you next week on District 44 Monday Night Live.
Whoop whoop! And if
Take
you want to
care.
come on, let us know.